Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and in today's episode we are checking out the latest release of the Cowan Sims B206 helicopter that just recently received a pretty significant update. So today we're going to take it for a quick flight around the Hawaiian Islands, and just to rub into a buddy's face that I can do it too. Stick around guys, because hopefully it'll be a fun flight. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come along down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below, and thank you to all of my current subscribers. We have the Cowan Simulations, and then we also have the Fly Inside Simulations. This is the Cowan Simulations. Again, they are both absolutely fantastic helicopters. Some differences between the two, but really it comes down to what your preference is. Now, we're going to go ahead and check out the latest changelog. Here it is right here, guys. Quite a significant change. One of the things that I always do enjoy is when they actually do talk about known issues. That is a big one. Lets you know what to expect from the latest update. Let me go ahead and bring that down a little bit so you guys can see that a bit further. But there's been quite a bit of change to the aircraft, everything from animations to physical capabilities of the aircraft, as well as a flight model adjustment. You can see several flight model tweaks. So this is one of the ones that I really want to focus on when it comes to doing these kind of videos, is how does it fly? I'm not going to go into all of the individual changes here, as you can see on the changelog, but I did want to make sure that you guys saw that and that it was available to you. We're basically just going to get the aircraft started and go for a flight. We're just going to go have some fun, tool around the island a little bit, and enjoy some of the aircraft features here. So I did want to make sure that you guys saw what the changelog was. That way you could look for specific things if there was something that really grabbed your attention. So let's go ahead and get back into the cockpit and get the aircraft started up. All right, so we've got the aircraft starting here. Put our headset on. Let's put the other one out of the way at least. Silence that horn there. Let me make sure SPAD's running here while we got a minute. I think it's already good to go. Yep, and we are already on the correct profile, which is awesome. So let me make sure. Oops, there we go. Make sure that throttle is turned up. Can't remember if I set an overhead camera. I did indeed. How about that? All right, avionics are on, engine starts, blah, blah, blah. See our anti-collision light. Let's go ahead and flip that on. Position lights can come on. The anti-collision light was an item that received an adjustment, so let's go ahead and see. You can see it up there on the tail taking some action here. Now they did state in certain lightings you may see some pixelization with some shadowing, so that was kind of nice that they gave us the heads up on that. Let's go ahead and come back down here. There we go. And since we're here, it looks like we got some authority here. Set our barometric pressure. And let's back up just a hair here. Let's get the head tracker turned back on. Center it. All right, and there we go. Looks like we're good to go here. Let's see here. Avionics are all turned off. Let's see. Oh, you know what? All right, so let me stop that then. Let's see why we missed that. I thought the avionics power switch was on there. But it looks like none of the avionics are on, so let's step back upstairs here. They're definitely on. Oop, didn't want to do that. I hope I didn't just kill the engine doing that. Not sure why we don't have any activity. The avionics switch is turned on. I feel like I'm missing something silly here. Very odd. Well, that's off to an interesting start, but like I said, I'm going to hope and count on it being me that did something wrong here. That's what I'm hoping for, so. Alright, well, let's go for a flight. Let's just see how it flies at least. Adding some collective. And they added the ground wash there. Prop wash. Whoa. There we go. Yay. Huh. Definitely a bit on the tricky side. Both of these helicopters, both the 206s are definitely challenging in their own right. Alright. Let's go tool around here a little bit. Just like we saw before, a bit more interactive in the cockpit, meaning that it's requiring a bit more input on our part to flyer, which is good. And yet requiring less actual movement of the helicopter cyclic. So we're not moving the cyclic near as much. Very small movements. Sounds great, as always. That is one thing that I'm very happy about with both of these versions. But Cowan Simulations has done a really good job with this. It was interesting to see two of them come out so close to each other. I definitely wasn't expecting that. What is happening to that car down there? Now, one of the things that... Oh. Okay. I really am tripping out about the avionics suite. I don't know what I could have missed. So I hope that's not a bug that came from the previous release or something. I did make sure to remove the older version. I completely deleted it before I installed the new one. So it's not like there's a conflict between what I previously had installed. But it's very odd. I'm not sure what's going on here. Now, I also did do the auto start. So maybe it's an issue with the auto start. If Cowan Simulations happens to see this, maybe that's part of the problem, is I did not manually start the helicopter. I like the way it's flying. I like the way it's flying a lot. They definitely made some differences here. I can always tell when I'm trying to figure out where her sweet spot is because I go quiet. But I'm really liking this. The flight model tweaks are definitely evident. Ooh, baby. Oh, over torquing. My bad. Put a little too much collective in there. Let's see if we can't take the helicopter out to the coast. Although we're pretty far from the coast. We're inland here. I love the texturing. I love the modeling of everything they've done with this helicopter. I think it's like $35 and change, give or take, US for this helicopter. It's not bad at all. Now, one of the big advantages to this helicopter, if this is your preference, is it doesn't require any third-party applications in order to use it. The Fly Inside 206 still requires their heli manager that they use. Now, as far as flight models go, I think I still prefer that as my personal preference, but really I mean, the differences, guys, are going to be, I think they're negligible at this point. I think it's just a matter of, I mean, some of it may literally just be placebo effect, you know. I've been flying the Fly Inside version since before its release, so I think I might just also be more used to that. But there's definitely some differences, but both are very good. This is a very good rendition of this helicopter. I really like this. It's flying fun. The actual controlling of the helicopter itself is very smooth, very responsive, but nothing... How do I describe it? Like, it's definitely still got the same feeling that if you do something dumb, you're gonna lose it. That feeling is still very prevalent. It's still very much there, which is a good thing, because in a helicopter it doesn't take much to get it out of control, is my understanding. You can lose them pretty fast if you do something stupid. Definitely not near as forgiving as an airplane is as I've been led to believe. But this is very good. Very good. Let's bring it right through here. Ooh, look at me turning that thing right on its side. Sorry. Had to scratch my eye. Ooh. Alright, let's see if we can find our way back here. And the trim controls do work. I don't use them as often when I'm doing these kind of reviews, because I want to see how it flies. I want to see what it's going to do based on the different corrections that I make. I'm very pleased with both of them. So the Fly Inside version was provided to me. This one I purchased myself, based on a lot of requests from you guys. And the only reason why I keep comparing them is because it comes up every single time I do a video where there's more than one version of it. Every single time I get a ton of questions. Which one's better? Which one's better? I don't know that I'm going to give you... I can't give you that answer. I can't say one is better than the other. They're different. You will notice minor differences. There are subtle differences between the two, both in the way they fly, to the texturing, to the modeling, to the sounds. There are absolutely differences between the two. I will say, for example, like the sound set. I think the sound set from Fly Inside is better. But it's hard to say. As far as how they fly and as far as the enjoyment, I think they're both worth every penny that they're asking for. So it's really going to come down to preference, I think. Or if you're like me and just want both, get both. I don't think that you would be disappointed either way. I really don't. I do expect this to turn a bit more than it does. How fast are we going? Maybe. Alright, I mean, we're cooking. We're moving right along, so I guess being that wide on the turn kind of makes sense. Just seemed a bit longer than what I was anticipating, but I guess that wasn't bad. Alright, so other than the avionics issue, which, like I said, I'm really hoping it's something that I did wrong. I'm hoping that I'm missing something really stupid that's probably right in front of my face that prevented them from coming on, but I don't know what that would be. I mean, that's the one thing that I think I like the most about these helicopters is when it comes to switches, buttons, etc., they're fairly simplistic. There isn't a whole lot to them. I think we got a helipad right there that we're going to use. So it looks like a helipad. This is default scenery, so it's hard to tell. No, that's not a helipad. Alright, so maybe we'll just go back to parking where we were. What is that? That might be a helicopter right there. I think that's an image of one. It's hard to tell. watch our descent rate. Make sure we don't start descending too fast. We're going to put it right over here in one of these parking spots to our right here. Watching that descent rate. I don't want to get into a vortex ring state as I start to slow down. This is a fun thing to practice, believe it or not, is just trying to maintain very low forward momentum while descending smoothly. You'll be surprised how tricky this really gets. It gets interesting. Oof. It's real easy to do that. It's real easy to pitch the nose forward and just start moving again. There we go. That was better. Let's see if we can be a show off here. Those were his last words. Okay. So the flight model definitely significantly better than the last time I flew it. There's definitely been some really nice changes to it. It flew very, very well. I really do enjoy flying these helicopters around. I will say I think the ground effect is something that still needs to be addressed. It just sank right in. There wasn't any pillow. I didn't feel like we were gonna, you know, in the last few feet of a helicopter that I've noticed, and even with a real plane, just you don't notice it as much because you're in that forward momentum. But in the last few feet, you know, once you get into that ground effect, she starts slishing and sloshing and wanting to sort of rock and roll all over the place, and you really have to start getting to some finite correction. And I don't notice that with this one. She sort of just goes right down until you hit the ground. There's never any indication that you're in that ground effect. And I think that's one of the things that makes the takeoff a little bit weird, is that you don't ever feel that. And I'm expecting to have to correct for that. It's not there, at least that I'm feeling, quote unquote, you know, at least that I'm recognizing. And so I'm overcorrecting on the takeoffs. Like, let's try it one more time. Let's try to do a quick pickup here and see if we get any kind of odd behavior. So I'm really trying. Let's see if I can just get it to come straight up here. Now, keep in mind, I'm also not the best helicopter pilot. I'm really not. I'm just trying to get into a real shallow hover here. Yeah, see, it's definitely a lot easier in this helicopter than I feel in its competitor, which I don't feel like is negative or positive, just something that I'm expecting to see. And even in the DCS helicopters, the same thing. You know, we get that ground effect. So, you know, those are just the things that I have to base that comparison on. But again, I think it's a fantastic helicopter. I think that anybody who purchases this helicopter will be more than happy, and I think it's definitely a great work and a great addition to the simulator. And I think that you know, it's clear that Cowan Simulations is still working on it and continuing to push out updates for it. And really, that's all that, from me, that's what I care about. Even if your aircraft isn't tip-top on its initial release, or even if you release after, if you are consistently making valiant changes, or, you know, viable changes to the aircraft, viable changes to the aircraft that are truly making improvements and truly changing it and pushing towards that end goal, I don't have a problem with this. I love seeing it, and honestly, it brings me back to the seat, especially as someone who does content creation. It gives me another incentive to get back into some of these aircraft that I don't fly as often. So it is really, really enjoyable, and Cowan Simulations, keep doing your great work. As always, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Stay safe and healthy, and you know the drill. See you in the next one.